After Endgame, the MCU was basically split between TV shows and films for phases 4 and 5, and I think this was the wrong strategy and spread the franchise way too thin. There was simply too much content now for the average fan to keep up with, and yet the films were always considered to be the primary vehicle for the franchise, especially for casual and general audiences. Some shows fared better than others, of course. Some were okay, some not so much, and some were She-Hulk. Hawkeye was one of those shows that was actually pretty decent, though the character of Kate Bishop overshadowed Clint Barton too much in the latter half of the season, going full girl boss mode and showing him up on occasion. Hey, this was the MCU after all. Still, Hawkeye was a show with a unique energy and identity of its own, especially due to taking place at Christmas. It wasn't a half-bad show at all. Anyway, recently main star Jeremy Renner had this to say on the planned second season of Hawkeye in an interview with High Performance. He says, "They asked me to do a season 2 and they offered me half the money. I'm like, wow, it's going to take me twice the amount of work for half the amount of money, and so 8 months of my time essentially, and I have to do it for half the amount. I'm like, I'm sorry. Why do you think I'm only half the Jeremy because I got ran over? Maybe that's why you want to pay me half of what I made for the first season. And this is not Marvel, this is like not even really Disney, it's just the penny pinchers, the accountants. I told them to go fly a kite at the insult offer, and so we didn't see eye to eye on it, and sadly, I still love the character, I'd still love to do it, but I had to defend myself. And I didn't ask for more money, mind you, it's just pay me what I made in the first season. So it's a little disheartening that that didn't happen. But that's fine, I'm happy to let that go because my body is probably thanking me time and time again that I'm not doing it right now." Now, in my opinion, offering Jeremy Renner half the money to do Hawkeye Season 2 seems a bit off. It seems pretty obvious that an actor would likely reject such an offer. I mean, I fully understand his reaction. It is true that the show wasn't a massive streaming success. Viewership numbers probably weren't what the studio wanted, but still, to offer him half his salary seems quite strange. So much so that my immediate reaction to this story was not that Disney Marvel were going cheap on the budget to reduce costs, but that they possibly didn't want to make Season 2 in the first place and were simply looking for a way to back out of making it. At least this way, they can make it look like they wanted to make it, but they can claim that the reason it's not happening is because salary negotiations broke down with the show's main star. In other words, they can blame Jeremy Renner's rejection of their lowball offer. Talk about problem reaction solution, right? Well, it turns out I may have been onto something because I'm not the only one thinking this way. This article is from comicbookmovie.com. Rumor: Marvel had a surprising reason for making Jeremy Renner a lowball Hawkeye Season 2 offer. According to both the Insniders' Jeff Snyder and Puck's Matt Belloni, Disney and Marvel Studios deliberately made Renner a lowball offer for Hawkeye Season 2. According to the former, they were aware that he'd reject being paid half as much money, giving them a reason not to have to make a second season of the show. In his piece, Belloni added, "Nobody tell Renner the show attracted middling viewership and costs would have come down across the board for a Season 2. That is, if execs weren't lowballing him in the first place, so they can pin the cancellation on him, not them." While it does sound like they're theorizing to some extent, if Renner had something in his contract that guaranteed a second season, then that would explain why the studio settled on this tactic. It's now unclear what the future holds in store for Hawkeye, as neither Renner nor Steinfeld are announced as being part of the Avengers Doomsday cast. I do think that this was the strategy, because it dovetails with the recent retooling of the franchise both on TV and film. I mean, what actor would honestly have said yes to doing this show for 50% less money? Hollywood studios know how to do contract negotiations. They know how to handle them. They have enough experience to know how an actor would react to being offered such a significant reduction in salary. but it does make me wonder what Disney and Marvel would have done if he had agreed to these terms. Anyway, I'll leave it there for now, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Looking forward to your comments below. Please subscribe for more and hit that like button. Take care. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.